Welcome to Change Now, the largest event for our planet. My name is Inge Mehus and I'll be your moderator for this session in our pitch garden. This session is dedicated to energy efficiency by Solar Impulse, and we'll discover top innovative solutions presented by 5 exciting changemakers. In order to give us a bit of an introduction, I'm going to hand over to Pierre Maury for Solar Impulse. Pierre, the floor is yours.
Hi, Inge. Hi, everybody. Thanks a lot. Thanks, ChangeNOW, for having us today. So I'm Pierre Maury, and I'm working at the Solar Impulse Foundation in the Startups Acquisition team. At the foundation, our role is to accelerate the adoption of clean technologies all over the world. And basically what we do is that we are looking for innovative solutions, technologies in all industries, all over the 5 continents that can have a positive impact on the environment and that can be profitable in the same time. So we created the Solar Impulse Efficient Solution label that validates solution on 3 main criteria. First, that they have a positive impact on the environment. Second, that they are profitable. And third, that they have much mature. So we have solutions that have at least a prototype that has been tested in a real environment. And today we are happy to present you 5 of the 1,000 solutions we labeled. And tomorrow morning we have a second session on hydrogen as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pierre. And we're going to hear about these 5 solutions in a moment. But let's first hear from our jury member. We'll start with Stefano Mangili. You can briefly introduce yourself in 30 seconds, please.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone, and thanks you for the invitation. I am a mechanical engineer working in Schneider Electric. I am passionate about energy efficiency and sustainability topics. So for me, it's a pleasure to be here. And of course, I am also an external expert of the Solar Impulse Foundation. So good luck, good presentation.
Thank you, Stefano. And then I'm going to hand over to Elodie Lecatre-Lauré. Elodie, you might be muted, so it might help if you unmute.
Sorry. So, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be there. So my name is Elodie Lecatre-Lauré. I'm doctor in energy economics and engineer in agronomy, and I have 12 years of experience in energy companies. I'm currently lead scientific advisor at ENGIE, and I'm in charge of academic partnership and emerging technology watch. So I'm very passionate in technology and energy transition, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you, Elodie, and we're going to hand over to Michael Hartmann.
Yes, hello, good afternoon. My name is Michael Hartmann. I'm a system architect or power engineer expert, and I'm with Schneider Electric. I'm located in Vienna, and thank you for the invitation for this jury. It's a pleasure for me, and I'm also active in energy efficiency standardization, especially for power drives. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michael, and thank you all jury members. Now let's get ready to be inspired. I'm going to invite Matias Segal from EcoWave Power Limited to join us first. Matias, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ingi. So, do I wait for my slides to appear?
Probably coming on in a second. Let's see, probably starts now.
Great. So the world needs to move away from fossil fuels, not only to combat climate change, but to supply affordable energy. I'm Matias Segal from EcoWave Power, and I would like to tell you about an overlooked source of green energy, wave energy. EcoWave Power developed an innovative technology to harvest the power from the ocean and sea waves. Our solution is up to 9 times lower in capital expenses than other wave energy technologies. We are having a great momentum, operating 2 wave power stations and with more than 250 megawatts in project pipeline worldwide. And we have a strong intellectual property portfolio. Wave energy has a lot of advantages. Most of the people in the world is living close to the coastline and is able to reduce transmission cost. Wave energy is stable and in suitable locations it can produce 24/7, and it contains much more kinetic energy than wind, for example, being able to produce the same amount of electricity with smaller devices. And wave energy is abundant. According to the World Energy Council, it can produce twice the amount of electricity that the world produces today. However, most of the systems in the past were installed in the offshore, around 5 kilometers out from the coastline. Here you can see a picture from a technology in the past. And because of that, they resulted in high prices and low reliability. And also they attached their system to the ocean floor, resulting negative for the environment. Our solution is to bring the technology to the shore. As you can see in the picture, we attach floaters into existing structures like piers, jetties, and breakwaters. The floaters moves with the motion of the waves, making a piston compressed hydraulic fluid, which goes into an accumulator on land, creating pressure that turns an hydraulic motor and turns a generator, providing clean electricity to the grid. For this reason, we wish to be reliable, cost-efficient, fully insurable by well-known insurance companies, and 100% environmentally friendly. We're operating in Jaffa Port in Israel, our first wave power station that was a 10 kilowatt R&D station and got recognition by the Energy Ministry of Israel as a pioneer in technology. And now we're expanding it in a joint venture cooperation with EDF, the French National Electric Company. In addition, we work with Siemens for the electrical equipment. In Gibraltar, we operate the only wave power station in the world connected to the grid under a PPA, a power purchase agreement. And we have a project pipeline that reaches more than 250 megawatts worldwide. So here, I'm opening to you an opportunity to make a step for a more sustainable future. We are looking to collaborate with energy companies, location owners, like ports and governments, and other stakeholders in order to build additional wave energy projects, which will help us to reach an energy transition. Thank you very much.
Fantastic, Matias. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. And then I'm going to hand it over to Tera, who is the Global Product Manager from ABB. Tera, it's yours.
Yes, good evening everybody. At least I cannot see the slides at the moment. Can you see them?
No, they probably will come up in a moment. There they are.
Yeah. Okay. But it seems that I'm not able to advance the slides, so I hope you can help me. So like introduced, my name is Tera. I work as a Global Product Manager in ABB IEC Low Voltage Motor Division. And go to the next slide, please. In this session, we will focus on the importance of electric motors in the global electricity consumption and the challenge coming out of that, and as well the already available solution to tackle the challenge. It is a well-known fact that roughly 1/3 of the global electricity consumed today is consumed by the electric motors. And if we take even the industrial side of the electricity consumption, so the electric motors can carry as much as 70 or 80% of the whole electricity consumed by the industry. And it has been estimated that by year 2040, the installed base of motor will double, so the world is really going electric. So to add that kind of additional installed base, so it is about the same as equivalent of the electricity market in China, what they have there today. So if we are not yet in the point that improved energy efficiency is a must, so we will be very soon in that point. Next slide, please. So because of the fact and the challenge, so in ABB we have started the so-called energy efficiency movement, and hope you can take that as an open invitation to join into the movement. In our webpage we are talking more about the challenge and already available solutions to tackle the challenge. At the same time, on the right-hand side, the regional and governmental regulations are year on year coming more stringent towards these challenges. So the next slide, please. For example, in Europe, the minimum required energy efficiency for the electric motors is in the IE3 class. So the energy efficiency classes in the electric motors are defined in IEC standard in the different efficiency classes, starting from 1 and now going already up to 5. So the minimum requirement in Europe is 3, and the solution we are presenting goes already 2 steps beyond the minimum requirement. In order to meet that, let's say, the class number 5, it means in practice that you need to lower the losses generated in the motor up to 40%. It sounds like a technology of tomorrow, but it is actually already available today with a very standardized and productized product. The next slide. We are talking about the ultra premium efficiency IE5 synchronous reluctance motors, and on top of the improved energy performance of the motor, customer can see also much improved reliability due to the fact that the motor is running cooler because the losses in the motor are quite dramatically reduced. And if we think about the whole value chain of the supply chain and the production, we can also talk about the sustainable product because we are not using any rare earth metals or magnets in this motor, unlike some other technologies
Tera?
which are available in the market today.
I am very sorry. We have to cut there because time is going very quickly, but there will be time for Q&A and also some time in virtual breakout rooms for more questions and information. Thank you so much, Tera.
Thank you.
We're going to jump over to Boris Bestner, the CEO from Ocus Inc. Boris, it's over to you. Oh, we can't hear you, Boris. You have to unmute.
I'm Boris, CEO of Ocus Smart Homes. What we offer is a professionally installed smart home solution that's targeted through utility partners in North America. So we have an AI-powered customer segmented targeting that optimizes the customer's energy use. Our current operations, we're currently in 59 new utility partners across North America, and we have 3 current agreements that are already live and going. This year alone, we're planning to scale across the US and grow in many states. We're currently looking for 16 million euros or 20 USD to fund our new round. We're doing everything after manufacturing, so the distribution through utility partners, and considering our signed agreement right now, our obtainable market represents roughly 1.1 billion euros. Our revenue model, we're sharing the monthly recurring revenues with utility partners, and our proven process enables us to scale in new states or new countries within weeks. In terms of revenues, we're looking at high growth. Oh, sorry, this slide just disappeared. Sorry for that. Our product, it's really through AI. We can target customers and have energy savings insights customized for them, minimizing our customer cost acquisition. And we also offer standalone installation that's optimizing demand response programs for utilities, reducing the cost of those programs and augmenting the participation in those programs. In terms of competition, everyone's focusing on the security part, especially in the US. We are uniquely focusing in the utility sector to target more of an energy efficiency approach. We have a team of experience in the energy sector and environmental sector, and we're currently looking for a new raise for our operations in the US. you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Boris. All right, we're going to jump to Adam Durrant, the CEO of Satavia. Adam, over to you.
Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Excellent. So, aircraft contrails account for 60% of aviation's climate impact, and that's almost double the impact of direct carbon emissions from the engines. The good news is that contrail prevention is the ultimate low-hanging fruit for greener aviation. And while sustainable aviation fuels will take years or decades to perfect, contrails can be avoided right now using smarter flight planning, and we're currently demonstrating that with Emirates Airline. So I'm Adam Durrant, Chief Executive of Satavia. I'm a geologist by background, and I got into aviation via our work on airborne dust following the Iceland eruptions in 2010. Satavia is a high technology company based in Cambridge, UK, and we use atmospheric science, cloud computing, and numerical weather modeling to generate a high resolution digital twin of the Earth's atmosphere from the surface to space. So our digital twin enables us to predict with high accuracy where aircraft are likely to make contrails. As you can see in this image, the contrails cause surface warming. And so within this information in hand, we amend flight plans to help operators prevent those contrails with minimal impact on trajectory and fuel burn. I apologise, there are some slides that shouldn't be in here. So this is our digital twin. So our product, DecisionX Net Zero, then quantifies and validates the climate impact and converts this into a carbon equivalent offset credit. And we expect to be trading within 12 months following gold standard accreditation in a revolutionary market that we think is going to be worth up to £80 billion annually. So, as I mentioned, we're currently demonstrating our capability via Aviation X Lab, which is a Dubai-based green aviation accelerator. And our headline findings are that 80% of the airline's contrail impact can be eliminated by diverting less than 7% of flights, and that could save an airline the size of Emirates around 800 kilotons of carbon dioxide equivalent forcing per year. Diverting only 2.3% of all of their flights would eliminate the climate equivalent of all of their direct emissions. So this is just a summary of how we do it. You can see that we're adjusting flight levels to fly through regions of airspace, avoiding the contrail forming regions. So in summary, targeting alternative fuels is a long-term play, and that's only ever going to eliminate up to a third of aviation's impact on climate. And by contrast, contrail prevention can eliminate 60% of aviation's impact. That's 2% of all human impact, and we think we can save up to 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent using current technology available today. Thanks very much. Please look us up, www.satavia.com.
Great. Thank you so much, Adam, for that presentation. We're going to go to our last presenter, which is Sandra Sasso from Sail Power Limited. Sandra, the floor is yours.
Oh, the clicker is definitely not working.
Then Tech can help you out.
Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, so my name is Sandra Sasso, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sail Power. Next slide. So bio-waste is responsible for up to 8% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions, and you've got governments and companies around the world that are trying to make a change. We worked with one of Portugal's largest supermarket chains, where their waste was being recycled, their paper waste was being recycled, but their organics were still going to landfill. Next slide. So we worked with them to install one of our anaerobic digestion systems, which is a containerized system which converts organic waste into energy, and they were able to recover the water, the fertilizer, and the energy from their own waste, turning what was a cost into a value proposition. Next slide. So the continent is really not alone in the market. There are plenty of companies and municipalities that are looking to do just what they've done. They have they can be installed into buildings or next to buildings. Next slide, please. We've worked with the likes of the Sonai Group, where they have installed it to offset the waste that was on their site, and also installed them into the Google headquarters in New York, and worked with a waste company in the UK, and also the NHS, so behind the building. Next slide, please. So the value proposition to them is really carbon reduction, water reuse, energy savings, and most importantly, the fact that they are able to change their sustainability metrics. Next slide, please. So we design the units in-house, we deliver them to site, we use contract manufacturers, and that keeps our costs low. When we are working with companies around the world, we can see that when we reach our targets, we will be able to offset up to 14.5% of the methane emissions in the world, just by changing the way the world is managing their waste. Right now, waste is loaded into a vehicle and moved to another site, and then the energy, if there is any left, is recovered at that point. By changing that cycle, making a circular economy integrated solution, you change the way waste is handled, you reduce the carbon footprint. Next slide, please. So we're in a good position for 2021. We have all the contracts that we need to meet the numbers. We're working in the United States, in Italy, in France, in the UK, and in Portugal. And we'll be expanding beyond those countries shortly. Next slide, please. So in terms of competition, well, most of our customers worked with companies to look at various different solutions, but we're the only ones that can be integrated at building level, and that makes us a solution for the urban environment of the future. Next slide, please. Small team, external board. Next slide, please. And we're growing. I know I'm out of town, so I'm sort of pushing it forward. We're growing, and we're expanding, and we're hoping that we'll have people on board. We're raising a Series A. If you're looking to invest and you want to invest in something that will make the urban environment more efficient, please get in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandra, and thank you for hurrying up this very inspiring session. We know that 3 minutes is nothing, and that's why we have about like 6-7 minutes for a Q&A, and that will just get us started and warming up a little bit further discussions before we can actually break out in breakout rooms where the discussion can dig even deeper. So I want to open the floor to the jury members to see if you have any questions for our wonderful pitchers. Who would like to go first?
Yeah, I can start if you want.
Wonderful.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. I have a question first for EcoWave Power. I'm just wondering how resilient is your technology regarding the climate change impacts, especially the climate impact from extreme events that we can expect in the following years?
Yeah, thank you for your question. So you mean maybe, take, for example, most of the system is located on land, inside a container, completely away from the water environment. So that part of the system, which has all the hydraulic conversion unit, which is most of the cost of the system, is completely safe from the water. Let's say a tsunami come or whatever other extreme event you are imagining that is out of risk. The floaters are the only part of the system next to, like, in touch with the water. And during a storm, if the waves are too high for them to handle, they go up from the water level. However, if we locate the system in a place with risk of having, for example, a tsunami, we will evaluate in that case how we can protect from that. The system is fully modular, so the floaters are easily like replaced, or if we know a tsunami will come, we can work on that. But in regular situations, in regular locations, there is no risk for the project. In fact, it has been tested in Gibraltar with storm protection mechanism. And closing, we believe that actually these extreme conditions of climate change will be something that will accelerate renewable energy. So it's more as something beneficial for like an energy transition than a risk for the system.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Any other Tera members have a question for one or other wonderful change makers?
Yes, Stefano speaking. Hello. I would like to ask to Tero Helpio from ABB one question regarding the solution of the E5 motors. As I understood, you have improved the availability since the motors are wasting less energy and in heat. But I would like to understand, in combination with the variable speed drive, how are these motors acting? So when I reduce the frequency of the power supply of the inverters, are these motors acting properly or not? Since now this type of actuation is very used.
Yeah, let's say if we compare the traditional motors used today, meaning induction motors, so typically due to the fact that the motor is synchronous motor rather than the induction motor, so it actually offers better controllability together with the variable speed drive compared to the induction motor. So the torque and speed accuracy is better, and also the speed changes are faster compared to the standard motor.
Great, thanks.
Is there another question?
Yes, so hello, here's Michael Hartmann speaking. I have a question to pitch number 4. I think it's Tavia. So thank you for your presentation. Interesting approach. I have 2 questions, in fact. The first one is, where do you get the data? Do you have your own database, or do you buy them? And the second one is, you talked about the deviation of the flight route. So what can I imagine about deviation? Is it just a small part, or is it big? And the question is, how much fuel do the airplanes have to take this into account, that they need to take more fuel with them?
Thank you. Yeah, great questions. So first of all, about the technology. So we run our own numerical weather prediction model. We've built it in the commercial cloud. So it runs in high performance compute in Microsoft Azure. And we have world-leading scientists in our team. And we've developed the capability to model contrails and ice crystals and weather, basically at aircraft cruise altitudes. So we have our own data, we generate our own data. For example, we scaled the infrastructure with Microsoft in December and got up to nearly 30,000 CPU cores. So it's a very scalable type of architecture. So we've basically created a digital twin of the Earth's atmosphere. So we break the atmosphere down into 6 billion cells. We're doing 100 algorithmic computations every time step. We calculate 26 meteorological parameters. And so it literally generates petabytes of data. But we're slicing through that, and we have data at 60 levels up to flight level 600. So that's 60,000 feet. And the vision for this is to fully integrate into flight planning software to augment optimizations that are done. So we do both the aircraft performance and analyze fuel burn and emissions, and we have the competing effects of the climate impact from contrails. So that's the core of what we do. The demo we're doing with Emirates via Aviation X Lab that we've just completed, it was a dry run, so we were just testing this without actually doing any flying, and we were just adjusting the height at which the aircraft fly. So literally changing by a few thousand feet upwards or downwards, you can take out most of that contrail impact. And we don't have to do it for every flight. So maybe 2% of flights, you can solve 30 to 40% of the problem. Your total fuel burn is going to be only 0.05% to solve maybe more than 50% of the problem. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Wonderful. That is the last question that we have time for. These 35 minutes just flying by, but luckily right now in the chat you can click on the link where you can keep networking and dig deeper and get to know each other's wonderful ideas. So thank you so much, inspiring changemaker, fantastic to remember, and to all of you who are tuning in from all around the world. I hope you leave this session more inspired and ready for change now. Enjoy the remaining program and see you soon. Bye.